SUGA is a man of contradictions. He curses like a sailor but loves like a child. He carries the weight of the world on his shoulders but sleeps like a log. He never sugarcoats the truth. Yet he's one of the most generous when it comes to giving praises. It's no wonder people, fans and haters alike, are fascinated by him. His tendency toward privacy only fuels the speculation. And here are some of the most common misconceptions and lesser known facts about BTS's resident savage, SUGA, also known as Agust D. Here's a popular myth. He used to write fan fiction. In a live stream, Suga once said that he was fascinated with imagining scenarios involving his favorite singer and athlete. From that, some fans concluded that Yoongi must have written fan fiction, and therefore doesn't view fan created stories about artists with disgust or contempt. And because of this, others have gone further, claiming Suga is fine with R18 fanfics. They connected this to this past interview that is also often miscontextualized about him talking about his ideal type, but more on that later. Yes, he's a proud fanboy of his members and other artists, and he never holds back praising them. But he never actually said he wrote fan fictions. What he said was that he used to be fascinated by imagining scenarios about his favorite singer and athlete. We all imagine things, but unless someone can point to a statement where he explicitly said, I wrote fan fiction, it's better not to spread the claim. What's more interesting, and the thing that we should highlight, is how this shows his creative imagination. And that brings us to the next point, his knack for storytelling. Did you know that SUGA is the mastermind behind BTS's epic narrative? When it comes to complex concepts, SUGA isn't always the first name people think of. But according to the book, BTS Behind the Story, the Most Beautiful Moment in Life series, or Wayang Yeonhwa, was described as SUGA's magnum opus. The book didn't elaborate much, but in a 2016 interview, Jin mentioned that the group's album concepts come from the members themselves and Bang Si-hyuk. Similarly, in a 2014 Bridges magazine interview, Suga said that the seven of them decide on the songs and the stories together. At the very least, we can gather that from these interviews, the concepts really came from one of the BTS members, or Bang Si-hyuk. But in a 2017 Rolling Stone interview, Suga actually explained that one of his key priorities when shaping an album concept is expandability. That's the genius of Wayang Yeonhwa. It wasn't just a theme, it was a world that could grow and evolve. And grow and evolve it did. Suga has always been a storyteller, not just of songs, but of epics. He even created a three-part series under Agust D that mirrors his journey as an artist, complete with full-fledged characters who could each have their own spin-offs. The Mad King, the Peasant Assassin, the Mafia Boss, the corrupt police officer, and many more. While we don't know how much of Wayang Yeonhwa he personally developed, the book credits him clearly. And Suga built an equally grand narrative within his solo work. Here's a myth. Suga is mostly a producer, not necessarily a thinker. Well, yes, Suga is a phenomenal producer, and one day he's going to be remembered as a legendary one. Mark my words. But he's also a conceptual thinker, capable of crafting deeply layered ideas. Take Map of the Soul, for instance. We shouldn't overlook Suga's role, or at least his influence in shaping it. In BTS's official Japanese fan club, when each member was asked what they were reading or getting themselves into, Suga mentioned that he was reading Freud and Map of the Soul by Carl Jung, and he said that he wanted to understand it more deeply. And armies already know by now that Map of the Soul by Carl Jung was the foundation of BTS's Map of the Soul series. Suga even broke down Jungian concepts during their Zach Sang interview, explaining how people should confront their shadow without being consumed by it. That's straight from Carl Jung's theory and a well developed storyline in their series. No one outside the team knows exactly who contributed what, and it's unlikely BTS ever will spill it out. But it's safe to say Suga's intellectual footprints are here. He's not just a savage rapper, he's a complex thinker who can translate deep psychology into art that connects with millions. And did you know that Suga has always been an avid reader? In BTS's Japanese fan club magazine, My Biography with BTS Suga edition, he shared, and I quote, "I used to collect tons of books. I wanted to become one of those refined, educated adults. And I was at that age for that kind of behavior. I read novels, poems, essays, newspapers, mature genres that didn't suit my age. Also, for some reason, up until middle school, I had the habit of reading from the last page backward. Even now, I read books on occasion. I can process lumps of texts at once, so my reading speed is really fast." He often says he's too busy to read, but fans have repeatedly caught him doing so in the soup, in other occasions, even during their airport appearances. So it's no surprise he gravitated towards Freud and Jung, which leads us to another misconception. The Min Yoongi Treatment Center was just a PR move. No. Suga has talked about wanting to be a therapist as early as 2016. In Now, Interviews and More magazine, he said he wanted to study psychology. As a child, he dreamt of being an architect, then a firefighter. But by 2016, he already knew he wanted to become a therapist. He mentioned it several times, even acknowledging how long and demanding the career path would be. Clearly, he did his research. His project to help people with speech and communication challenges through music feels like a way to fulfill that goal within his own means and time. And honestly, does it even matter whether it's strategic or spontaneous? We aren't in a surplus of compassion to question anyone's goodwill. If someone like Suga uses his influence to help others, that's what counts. Hopefully, he would influence others to do the same thing. People need help, and Suga is willing to extend a hand. That's what matters. Did you know that Suga and RM bonded over girls and music? This is something light. In Haruhana magazine, volume 22, when asked how RM and Suga became close so quickly, RM said they didn't really have a choice, but they connected through late afternoon chats in a park near their dorm, often talking about things like junior high girlfriends. Suga did laugh at it, but also added that they also talked about music a lot. During their trainee days, they were always grouped together for evaluations, and it was monthly. They were constantly writing songs as a team, a bond that remains strong today. He also mentioned how much he values Jimin's hard work and how J-Hope's warm personality helped him cope despite not being naturally social. Here's an old myth. He was tricked into joining BTS. Most armies already know that Suga's story about Bang Shi-hyuk tricking him into joining BTS was really just a joke. But for anyone who still insists on painting him as a victim, let's set the record straight. He auditioned to become a rapper, fully aware he'd train as an idol. Yes, initially he wanted to become a producer, but when he walked into that audition, he knew they were looking for rappers. The plan was to form a rap group centered around RM. That was Big Hit's original intention. It was only later when Big Hit faced financial trouble that Bang Shi-hyuk shifted direction towards creating a boy band instead of a hip-hop unit. So no, Suga wasn't deceived. He signed up knowing that he was going to become a part of a group. The company's survival simply changed the group's course. Did you know that he majored in photography? Yep, he did, and I know that a lot of you already know this. Though he eventually shifted to a cyber university program in business and entertainment, Suga originally majored in photography. He used to share photos regularly under the tag From Suga's Eyes, often capturing his members behind the scenes. The last time he talked about it, he said that he wasn't really shutting it down, he was just taking a break. It's been on hiatus for 9 years now. But here are some beautiful photos, and here's to hoping he starts taking photos again one day. Another myth: Suga was a bad dancer. And then he was a professional break dancer. Well, Suga did say that he used to break dance, and we all saw it. But it's unclear whether he was learning it because he was being asked by the company to learn it or it was something he was really pursuing. But clearly, he was good at it. And if it was not for his shoulder injury, he might have continued. It's not surprising, really. Despite his reputation as someone who prefers to sleep in on rest days, Suga was athletic growing up. He played basketball, of course, held a red belt in taekwondo, and said that he was actually very active as a child. In a Japanese fan club interview, he shared that he was actually pretty fast in running, and he was chosen as a relay athlete from elementary to high school. He was also above average academically. And did you know that he actually hates being called lazy? Because he isn't. Suga often says he loves sleeping and prefers staying indoors, but that doesn't mean he's lazy. He's admitted that when people ask if he can't get anything done lying around, it irritates him deeply. It triggers him. He's simply introverted, someone who prefers to conserve his energy for creation rather than small talk. That doesn't mean he is lazy. So I know that many armies actually make light-hearted jokes about it, but maybe we can stop now. It's the least we can do for someone who still comforts us with his music. Okay, this is a series, as you know. So if there's anything that you want me to verify, anything that you want me to check, just leave it in the comment section below, or you can get in touch with me in any of the social media links that you see on your screen right now, X, IG. But better to be a member of our Patreon community. That's where the conversations are happening. If you want to find a place where you can actually talk about movies, TV shows, or just general interest, that's the place for you to go. We also have a free tier just in case you want to try things out first. But also, even if I'm done with like J Hope or Jin, if there's any information you want me to verify, just let me know. I can always do a part two. Also, please consider supporting me via YouTube membership. I do have a once a week live stream just for them and also exclusive videos for them as well. And that's it. Thank you so much. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification button so that you do not miss a single video that we upload. We usually do once a day, almost every day. And more importantly, please share the video. Send it to your friends, family members. Leave a link on your social media app, messaging app, emails, everywhere. That is going to help the algorithm recommend this more. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time.